Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and today we're going to be going over my bomber build that I've been using for the Scribes of Fate chapter. I've been really enjoying this for mid-year. It has been absolutely a blast to be able to bomb people. You are absolutely doing so much damage on this, and I really do like it a lot. So one more thing before we get started, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I would highly appreciate it. It is free to do so, and it helps me out tremendously. Also, I know I said one more thing, but one more thing. If you want to see any of the footage for this build, it will be at the end of the video, so make sure you wait until the end to see how it worked in action. But guys, let's just get started right now. We're going to be a Khajiit on our Nightblade because honestly, Khajiit is just best in slot for Nightblade. You get so much crit damage that Khajiit just makes it so that you're hitting even harder with your crit damage, and I definitely recommend it. Our Mundus is going to be the Shadow to increase our critical damage and healing. And then we're also going to be Vampire Stage 3. I know we could do Stage 4, but honestly, I just like the Stage 3 for the little bit of tankiness. It helps in a little bit. You're really squishy on the build, but overall, the Stage 3 does help slightly. And then also we're going to be using our Zorga Smoked Bear Haunch, but honestly, I am done using this food because it is so expensive. I'm done with it. If you want a replacement, I recommend the Jewels of Miserable food. It is not nearly as expensive, and you're losing 400 max health and then 12 magic and stamina recovery. I'm going to be using this from now on, starting with with the rest of my videos once I run out of our Zorgas, because I'm just tired of paying for it. So I'm going to be using Jewels of Miserable from now on. And then also our attributes are going to break down like this. We're going to have 54 points into magic and 10 points into health to give us a max magic pool of 26.4k, a max health pool of 27.5k, and a max stam pool of 15.9k. I wanted to do a bomber build that had a little bit of health. That way you're not just getting absolutely two-shot if you get taken out of stealth. We're going to have really low resistances, yeah. But overall, that health is going to prevent us from getting the hit and just absolutely going from 100 to 0 real quick. And I definitely like it this way. I know that a lot of people kind of would recommend me going into more magic than health. But honestly, this is just how I want to play. And, everybody's entitled to play how they want to play. So it's not like it's wrong. It's just my play style personally. So moving on from there. For our monster set, we're going to be using Balorgs. Balorg is the absolute best monster set to use for a bomber because of the one piece. It gives you a line of weapon and spell damage, and then the two piece is when you use an ultimate ability, you gain weapon and spell damage equal to the amount of total ultimate consumed. So if you use an ultimate, then you use 500 ult. It's going to give you an extra 500 weapon and spell damage. On the other hand, it's going to give you physical and spell penetration equal to 23 times that amount as well. So 500 times 23, if you've got a 500 ultimate, it's going to give you 11,500 pen as well. So that is massive. If we're going to go at the bare minimum though, because we're going to be using tether on this, and tether costs 162 ultimate. So 162 times 23, the bare minimum it's going to give you is that 162 weapon and spell damage, and then also the 3,726 pen that you get from it. So that is absolutely massive. So our helmet is going to be a heavy reinforced, and then our shoulder is going to be a light divines. Our next set is going to be Rushing Agony. We're going to be using this in the chest for a medium divines piece. So Rushing Agony gives you a line of stamina recovery, weapon and spell damage, offensive pen. And then when you deal damage with a blink, charge, teleport, or pull leap ability, you pull enemies towards you, and then after 2 seconds you deal 9,000 damage. So honestly, it's just really there to bring everybody together, and that does not give them CC immunity, so that brings them together. And then when you tether, yeah, that rhymed, it CCs them again. So it's a nice little double CC, and it catches a lot of people off guard, and it really just makes people explode, and I really do like it a lot. Our next set is going to be Vicious Death because I love Vicious Death. It's a bomber build. Of course, we're going to be using that. So Vicious Death is going to give us a line of weapon and spell damage, max magic, crit chance, offensive pen, and then when you kill a player, they violently explode for 17,744 flame damage. And we are not even buffed up on this build, so that damage is going to get a lot higher. It's going to get to about 25k-ish, I think, overall. So I really like that. The amount of damages you do with this is absolutely bonkers, and I love it so much. I like this better than Plague Break currently on this because I wanted a light set, but they're both really good. But next patch, I definitely recommend using this as well because next patch, Plague Break, you're not going to be able to use that on guards anymore. So I definitely recommend just using Vicious Death and getting it over with. So we're going to be using a Light Divines waist piece. Our hands are going to be Rushing Agony in Divines as well with the Prismatic enchantment on it. We're going to be using Rushing Agony legs in Divines as well, Prismatic enchant. And then we're going to be using feet with the Vicious Death in the Divines enchantment on it with a max magic glyph on it. Our jewelry is going to be Vicious Death. We're going to be using this in the Infused tray to increase our weapon spell damage as much as possible, and it's going to have a weapon spell damage glyph on it. Same thing with both of our rings. Both are going to be Vicious Death infused. Both weapon and spell damage enchantments on it with the magic recovery on it. I know we have stamina recovery on this, but it really doesn't matter. It's so little that it really does not matter at all. Also, for our front bar set, we're going to be using Rushing Agony. Our main hand is going to be Nirnhoned with a shock damage enchantment on it. Our offhand is going to be Sharpened with a physical damage enchantment on it. So the reason why I liked maces is because we're just going to be getting that pen through the roof as much as possible. Our pen just sitting here is at 14,000, so that's before our Balor even goes off, so that is absolutely massive. I love it so much. Also on our back bar, we're going to be using Black Rose Perfected Daggers. I really like this. The amount of extra little bit of damage is definitely noticeable in my opinion. It's a little tough sometimes doing dual wield. It's kind of hard to poke, so if you don't really have Black Rose daggers at all, or if you just don't want to do this, I recommend just doing a back bar Potentate's Ice Staff or something like that, or a Resto Staff, putting it in the Decisive tray and just making it so that you can get it all fast and you can poke. But honestly, I really do like this. Black Rose gives you the Perfected line is extra stamina recovery, and then the two-piece is dealing damage with Blade Cloak, grants you Spectral Cloak for 2 seconds, reducing your damage taken and increasing your damage jump by 6%. So increasing our overall damage, and I really do like it a lot. We're going to be using double infused daggers. Our main hand is going to be shock damage, and our offhand is going to be flame damage. And then also moving on to our skills. Our main front bar set is going, or front bar skills are going to be Whirling Blades as our main spammable after we do our combo. This is going to be what's really going to secure the kills for us, and when they're at execute range, it's going to hit really hard. Camo Hunter, we're having this on our bar for 2 reasons. One, it gives you Major Savagery and Prophecy, increasing your weapon and spell critical by 2,600. And you also gain Minor Berserk for 5 seconds after dealing damage from the enemy's flank. So that is extra little bit of damage for you, and it is phenomenal. I definitely recommend it. Also, Degeneration. This is going to be your source of major brutality and sorcery, so it's going to increase your weapon and spell damage by 20% for 24 seconds. Then also Shadowy Disguise. This is your way to stay in stealth at all times. That way you can lead up to your bomb and just be undetected the entire time. It's great. Also on top of that, your next direct damage ability is going to be a guaranteed critical strike. So that's huge for your overall damage. And that's usually going to be your tether. So critting your tether is absolutely massive. Also, Lotus Fan. This is going to be what procs your Rushing Agony. So hitting this on a target and successfully landing it is going to proc your Rushing Agony, so it's going to bring everybody together. And then also after teleporting, you're going to do an additional 11,000, or do a damage of 5,000. So it's a little bit, but it's not too much. But it's it's a little bit to help your overall burst, because if you can get one person to pop with Vicious Death, you're going to get everybody to pop with Vicious Death. So that's phenomenal. And then also all enemies in the affected area are going to be hit with Minor Vulnerability for 10 seconds. So it's going to increase their damage taken by 5%. So I will take all these extra little bit of statistics. This is just making your build hit a lot harder, and I definitely like it a lot. Also, Soul Tether is going to be our ultimate, because this is a nice little AoE. People have been Soul Tether bombing for absolute years now, like literally as long as I can remember, and it's just classic. It's a classic, and I definitely like it a lot. There's really nothing else to be said about this. Comboing this with the rest of your abilities and your bomb is just so unbelievably satisfying. And then the back bar is going to be Deadly Cloak. This is going to be what's proccing our Black Rose dual wield on our back bar. So you're going to be getting both major evasion from this. And then also you're going to be doing a little bit of damage too. So that's helpful too. Every little bit of damage helps. Also, Race Against Time. This is going to be a lot of things for you. It's going to be your source of major expedition. So it's going to increase your movement speed by 30%. It's going to give you Minor Force, so it's going to increase your critical damage by 10%, so that's massive. And also, you're going to be immune to snares and immobilizations for 4 seconds too. So that is all huge, and I definitely recommend using this on your back bar. This is the best way to lead up to your ultimate, in my opinion. Also, Meditate on our back bar, because it's very hard to sustain on this build sometimes. So I definitely recommend going with this. I have the unmorphed version because I just haven't been able to morph it yet. I've played this build for a little bit and I just like it so much that I wanted to make a build video for it. So this build could be even better by, you know, morphing this. But overall, I like this a lot. This is in the Sigix skill line. So if you have it, I definitely recommend it. If you do not have this Sigix skill line, the best way to use this would maybe just use Shade instead. That way you can get into a bomb and get out. And so that's a really good way to combo your burst properly and get out as well. Also, Healthy Offering. This is going to be your only heal on this build, really. This is going to be your burst heal, and so, you know, when you need to heal yourself, just press this ability. You also get Minor Mending, so, you know, your next heal is going to be a little bit harder. But honestly, definitely use this. Spam this if you need to, if you're taking damage. It is going to be your lifeblood. Also, Proxy Detonation. If you can time this up to hit directly after your tether, it is going to hit very hard because it's going to hit a lot of people, and it's going to hit a lot of people that are not blocking either. So it's phenomenal because they're going to be all CC'd. And I know it doesn't say much damage on there, but after 8 seconds, you're going to be dealing damage to a lot of people in that little cone or that little AoE, and it's going to be the difference a lot of the times between successfully getting that bomb off and being unsuccessful. So I definitely recommend getting this timed down properly. Also, Temporal Guard. This is going to be your... Honestly, the only reason why we have this on our back bar is to have minor protection. So that's really the only reason why we have it at all. And then on to our champion points. Our blue slottables are going to be Fighting Finesse, Mastered Arms, Fighting Aura, and Wrathful Strikes. Our red slottables are going to be Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, Celerity, and Survival Instincts. And then our green slottables are going to be Breakfall. It's not a slottable, but it's still amazing. Rationer and Liquid Efficiency. I wasn't sure what to do between either Wrathful Strikes or Occult Overload, because Occult Overload they're getting hit by it at all times because, you know, they're going to be getting hit with that status effect. But ever since it got nerfed, I just don't really think it's worth it. So I went with the Wrathful Strikes instead, just to increase my overall damage. But guys, that is it from me. I really hope that you enjoyed the build. I had a lot of fun putting this one together and trying it out. It was kind of stressful at times, but overall, I really did enjoy it. And if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't make a build video of it. And it's really that simple. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. Remember, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. One click just helps me out so much. It is free, and I just can't stress that enough. Please, I can't stress enough. I would really appreciate every single one of you. Also, if you want to see builds like this live in action, or just, you know, the way that I come together with the builds and, you know, create them, catch me live at twitch.tv/Sekaar. The link will be in the description. So come on, check it out and stop by and say hello. But that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Let's just get on with the rest of the footage for the build, and I will see you guys on the next one. Later.